What is good, everyone? OJ over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another video. Today we have some awesome topics for you guys, but before we get into that, go ahead and hit that like button, trying to reach 500 likes for this video. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in. And we are starting off with Nintendo, and they are focused on, quote, making sure the supply chain is robust for the Nintendo Switch this autumn. So Game Informer recently caught up with Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aime, and he had a lot to say when it came to various different things, but we're going to be focusing on the fall season and the big games that are going to be coming out, and if Nintendo's going to be able to have that supply chain ready to go, because obviously you have Super Smash Brothers and you also have Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee coming out, and some people have been kind of worried about if there's going to be enough Nintendo Switches this holiday season. So let's go ahead and get the question first and then hear what Reggie had to say on the matter. With Super Smash Bros. Ultimate hitting this holiday, let's talk about hardware. Switch is still selling like mad. Are you going to be sending out more during the holiday to meet demand? Here's what Reggie had to say. Quote, absolutely. Our goal as a business is to drive momentum and create excitement to get people who have heard about hardware but haven't bought it to jump in. Our biggest failure is when the consumer goes to the shelf and it isn't there. We're focused on making sure the supply chain is going to be robust. As we sit here today, we are highly confident that we are going to be able to meet demand. Part of what we do is try to drive demand as high as possible and therefore drive our business as strong as possible. So that's obviously something that's going to be a given, right? But I think we can talk about it just a little bit more when it comes to driving that momentum. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are probably Nintendo's strongest 1-2 punch that they've ever had in like a holiday season for quite some time. I don't remember another holiday, especially in the Wii U era, that was ever as strong in terms of just sheer franchise power. I know back in 2014 they had Super Smash Brothers, they had Hyrule Warriors, they had a number of different games that was really good, but they didn't have two of the biggest franchises that they have right then and there, back to back from month to month. Usually it was spread out throughout the year and it just wasn't that strong, whereas this year, even if you look at what they've been doing, quite a number of pretty good games coming out, plus Super Mario Party is coming out pretty soon here as well. So if you add that on top of already what they're doing with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it's definitely going to be a strong holiday season for them, because Mario Party games tend to sell for long periods of time and really heat up during the holiday season. So it's not even about just for Super Smash Brothers or just for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it's also for Super Mario Party and a lot of the games that came out last year as well. This will be the first time a lot of people, even if like the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee people come over, they're probably not going to have Splatoon, they're not going to have Super Mario Odyssey, they're not going to have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So all of those games are also helping to drive that demand for this holiday season as well, especially as many new people jump into the Nintendo Switch. So I think it's something that Nintendo needs to really think about. Obviously they're going to be doing that, like Reggie has to say here, and making sure that they have enough, because it is going to be massive this holiday season, especially with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I mean, the demand for those games could be astronomical, especially for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We just don't know how many of the Pokemon Go players it's going to get. We already know there's going to be a large number of casual Pokemon fans, in addition to fans who maybe played the series before and aren't the most hardcore into it, that are coming back into this one. We know it's going to sell those numbers, but will it draw those people from Pokemon Go? That's the thing that I think Nintendo has to make sure that it is robust, because even if it taps into that market just a bit, there's going to be a lot of people who just want to switch out of nowhere when that game launches. So we'll have to wait and see what goes down, but I'm hoping that Nintendo will be able to have that supply chain ready, because they haven't moved off that 20 million goal for the fiscal year, so they're going to stay right on that. And I think that these two games, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and obviously Super Smash Brothers, are going to be a big help to that. So what do you guys think about what Reggie Fils-Aime had to say here when it comes to the supply chain of Nintendo and this holiday season, having enough Switches out there for consumers? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving to the next topic here, Bravely Default's director is now at CyGames, and he's working with Yoshida, the artist Yoshida, on a brand new game. So this is something that actually happened quite a while ago, but news is just getting out here. So here's what Siliconera had to say when they kind of dug into this topic just a little bit more. So Kensuke Nakahara was the director of the Bravely series over at Square Enix and Silicon Studio. He ended up joining CyGames back in 2015 after the release of Bravely Default for the sequel in Japan. He had lunch with CyGames' current CTO once and decided to tour the company. The factor that clinched his decision to work at CyGames was being able to work on the same floor as the legendary Akihiko Yoshida, who was the company and art director of Cy Designation. Now, Nakahara is currently working on a brand new title alongside Yoshida. He believes that you can really feel the spirit of wanting to make the best content ever at CyGames. He also mentioned that plans and projects move much quicker at CyGames. CyGames is working on a number of different titles. I think there's 3 different games for the Nintendo Switch that are going to be coming out that are various themed when it comes to action games, strategy, and all of that. So maybe he's helping out with those games there. I mean, he could be doing anything. A lot of people are speculating it's going to be like a mobile game or something like that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, I think like the Bravely Default series, like everyone's kind of wondering what's going to happen to that. Obviously, we have stuff like Project Octopath, right? Or Octopath Traveler, I should say, and that is kind of like the spiritual successor to the Bravely Default in terms of combat and some of the developers that have worked on there. But it doesn't seem like Silicon Studio is as involved as they were with the Bravely Default series, although there are some people that work at Square Enix that were involved in the Bravely Default series, bringing it over to the 3DS, that are working on Octopath Traveler. So we don't really know what's going to happen with that, and maybe that's also the reason why he left as well. There wasn't really necessarily a clear vision for what they wanted to do after Bravely Default, because we still haven't seen it yet, right? So maybe we get a Bravely Third, maybe we don't, but I'm interested in seeing what he could do if he was given a team and he was given a good budget. Obviously you don't need a ton, but just given a good budget to make like a pretty cool like Nintendo Switch game or Switch PS4, I think that would be awesome to see, just because Bravely Default was amazing and he was one of the key driving factors to get that system implemented in terms of what they did. Now, of course, Bravely Default isn't perfect. Don't get me wrong. You guys all know about the looping chain effect. If you haven't played Bravely Default, you can go in and look that up. That was probably one of the most annoying things that I've ever done in the game, but at the same time, I think that the combat in the system, the gameplay, the story, everything was really good in Bravely Default, and I'd be excited to see what he can do at CyGames. So what do you guys think about the director of Bravely Default moving over to CyGames and working on a brand new project? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving to the last topic here, Mercenaries Wings, the False Phoenix, has been officially announced for the Nintendo Switch, and it's due out this year for the Nintendo Switch eShop. So publisher Circle Entertainment and developer Radeon Japan have announced Mercenaries Wings, the False Phoenix, for the Nintendo Switch. It is, quote, a separate story and worldview in the Mercenaries series, and not a direct sequel to the Mercenaries Saga Chronicles trilogy. It will launch via the Nintendo Switch eShop in 2018. More information will be announced in the coming weeks and months. Today's announcement is the first in what Circle Entertainment promises to be a month of reveals planned throughout July. So they're kind of taking a little bit of the slow play game. They're going to let us know bit by bit in terms of what's going on with Mercenaries Wings, the False Phoenix. And I think the biggest thing with this game here, because they did show no actual game footage. So there's no videos, there is no screenshots. All they showed off was this logo here, Mercenaries Wings, the False Phoenix. But I feel like the biggest thing with this game is that, are they going to actually improve the graphics? Are they going to actually improve it, or is it going to be based off of what they've already done? They are saying that this is a completely different type of thing and separate, not a sequel to any of those ones. So we'll see if they actually use the Nintendo Switch, because originally those Mercenaries Saga games, those were all based off the 3DS. Those were all 3DS games. They ended up porting them over to the Switch. They're really good strategy RPGs, so if you're into Fire Emblem, definitely check them out on the Nintendo Switch eShop. So we'll see how advanced this one is, but I think that just even regardless of the graphics of the game, I think the gameplay, we'll see what they do with that, because Mercenary Saga has some really cool things, but what else can they add to the formula to make it new and fresh, and what are they going to do when it comes to the actual Switch in terms of the gameplay? Like, how are they going to integrate it, and what other things are they going to use on the Nintendo Switch? Is there going to be HD Rumble? Is there going to be what you can do like with touchscreen? Is there going to be motion? Are they going to add any other kind of quirks into there? This is their first Switch focused Mercenaries game, so I think that the other games did pretty well on the Switch if they're already announcing this here as well. So we'll have to wait and see what's going down, although the game is coming out in 2018, so looks like they've been working on it since last year or so. I know they just said that they have some tricks up their sleeves when it comes to the Switch in 2018. I think they said that last year, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, and of course looking forward to seeing the game itself. Like, I want to know if it's based off the 3DS. I'm hoping that it's not going to be the same look. I'm hoping that they actually said, okay, let's improve things just a bit more. I mean, we're starting to see indie developers really up their game. A lot of the games are getting better and better looking, and I think that Mercenary Saga is one of those games that they can really kind of implement a little bit of a new art style and kind of gather in more people than they would have got before, because this will be their first actual Nintendo Switch Mercenaries saga game. So we'll have to wait and see what they do, but I'm excited to get some more announcements throughout July. So what do you guys think about Mercenaries Wings, the False Phoenix for the Nintendo Switch so far? Based on the information, I know it's not much. Also, the Bravely series director going over to CyGames, and of course Nintendo focusing on making sure there's enough Nintendo Switches out there for the big fall games. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.